All right, how's it going, everybody? I know it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube or Twitch or really have said anything. It's kind of been a long stretch on the personal side of work and everything. Um, for those of you who don't know, normally this is a gaming channel, so I'm just gonna get this out of the way up front. Mostly, I do games, but when it comes to Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, stuff like that, every now I'll do reactions on trailers and talk about the movies and TV side of those things, just because they're near and dear to me, and it's my channel. I can do whatever I want, right? So I get it's called the Casual Gamer, but hey, I watch movies and TV too. So we're gonna be doing a reaction of the season 2 teaser trailer for Rings of Power. And just so you guys are aware, I watched half of the first season and stopped because I absolutely hated it. So going into this, I am a little bit biased because I didn't like the first season. Big Lord of the Rings fan. I'll tell you right now too. Yes, I'm a big fan of the movies. Yes, I have a lot of the books. I read at least the Hobbit and the main trilogy, right? Lord of the Rings. I can't sit there and recall every little detail that is in this page of this chapter of that book. But I've invested a lot of money, as you can see, in swords and memorabilia and all kinds of Lord of the Rings stuff. So I do love the franchise a lot, enough to put my money towards it. So we're gonna do a reaction to this and see what I think and kind of talk about it. Obviously, pause on the open. We're gonna pause here and there, so I don't have any issues, but also because I just want to talk about things as I see it. And we're going to start just on this first little scene here. I know it's kind of a little blurry because I have it paused, but I actually don't mind the shot of Mordor and Mount Doom. I actually think this looks really good. But we'll play and pause it as we go. So sorry I've chatted a lot. Let's get this started.
Ancient and powerful, has returned.
Okay, the dwarves still look good. So I have seen pieces of this guy, and I can't remember who I was watching that said that this is like a Resident Evil. I can't remember who said that, and I've heard some things that maybe this is like a nameless thing, but it does look like a Resident Evil creature. Like Chris Redfield's gonna come out and... Okay. This guy actually kind of at least has long hair. This kind of looks elvish. Okay, so we got... Looks like an Asian elf. I'll say this too, just so we're clear up front. I'm not a fan of checking boxes and including people for diversity's sake. I think world building should be about world building and making sure characters look like they're of the same... Like... Obviously, everybody on here, everybody in this circle kind of has fair skin, so they have that kind of look-alike going. But when you see people like very different, like she obviously stands out because she looks Asian. It, like, to me, it takes it out. I don't want the black screen here. To me, it takes it out of it takes you out of the world. It's like, okay, maybe this guy's an elf. Okay, maybe he's never looked like Elrond's never looked like an elf in this show. This show has the problem of, hey, we'll just slap pointy ears on them and call it a day, and they're elves. Like, they don't go out of their way to actually find people and make people look elvish. Like, you should be able to look immediately at somebody. Like, I can immediately look at this person here in the back and be like, he's probably an elf, just by his hair. If Elrond's turned around, that could be a human, that could be anybody. Like, I don't know who that is. Right? It's like, that's a problem. And then you have this chick, and it's like, okay, well, why does she look so different? I thought they were all the same race. Like, why does she look so different? And they never explain stuff like that in the show because it's not, they just call you racist and whatnot. But anyways, let's continue. But that's side note. I don't like that crap, and I think it dilutes the world building. I don't know what the hell those are. Okay, let's go. Let's look at the orcs real quick. And if you guys haven't seen this already and want to watch the whole thing through for whatever reason, might not be the best channel to do that on. Because I mean, from a distance, the orcs don't look too bad. It's kind of hard to tell from a pause frame on that.
A
I mean, that's probably obviously Sauron. I would assume that's Sauron. It's very Eye of Sauron looking. Celebrimbor. So I'm a bit biased too in that. I think Celebrimbor in the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games was awesome. And he looks obviously like an elf. This guy looks so, I'm sorry, but he looks dumb. It looks so cheesy. Like every time I see him and the ears on this guy, I'm like, if this guy was short and you gave him fuzzy feet, he would just look like a hobbit. Like he looks like a stretched out hobbit. That's what he looks like. It's so dumb too, because I was looking forward to seeing Celebrimbor in live action, and that is not it. That is not it. And this is the I should have said this in the beginning too. This isn't a 100% true reaction. I've seen pieces of this trailer and everything through, so I just wanted to do. I should have said a breakdown of what my thoughts were. I don't want to give the impression it's like a first time experience. Halbrand. So from what I understand, people are assuming this is kind of the Anatar version of Sauron, which in the first season, it was already messed up the way, you know, everybody knew Halbrand was Sauron. Everybody knew. Like, it was so obvious. But it's going to be weird if this is supposed to be like, okay, he changed his hair and got pointy ears, and this is supposed to fool anybody who's ever seen him before. Hopefully that's not the case. I don't know. I assume it is, but it's like they probably should have gotten an entirely new actor that looks elvish to be like, hey, this is the Anatar form. And it fools the audience of being like, hey, who is this person? Like if you're a fan and you know the story, you're going to know it's Sauron anyways. But at least it kind of has that like, who is this person? Oh, maybe that's Sauron versus like, okay, we know who this is. He looks dumb. The wig looks terrible, by the way. Galadriel. That thing's pretty cool. Hang on, let me see that. I wonder if this is like a vision or if this is actually something that's going to show up. Because that's pretty cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that thing is cool. I wonder if that's supposed to be, again, could be a nameless thing, or I wonder if that's supposed to be like Amazon's version of like the Watcher in the water. I don't know. Because I can't tell who that is, but pretty cool looking creature. And I will say what the first season did right is they did a good job with the dwarves, minus Disa, because she doesn't make sense. And yeah, obviously, like, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be played by a black actress. Like, she should look like all the other dwarves. So I think she was actually one of the better characters. Okay, let's see that. That's kind of a more close up on a. I assume maybe that's Elendil. Which I liked, if that is, I liked his actor choice for Elendil, but the Númenorian armor and just Númenor itself in this show is so dumb that I was like, it didn't even matter. I didn't even care. That's a funny shot. But at least the orcs like makeup, like it actually looks, this is kind of looks reminiscent of like Peter Jackson's orcs and stuff. Like it's a weird shot that I freeze it on, but they don't actually look that bad. That's not my favorite orc. But obviously, but it doesn't look too bad. I'll give him that. Get the 3 elvish rings. I assume that's one of the dwarf rings. Oh, there's our guy. There's everybody's favorite character. Doing all his Legolas wannabe trick stuff. Another character that doesn't make sense. Because yeah, I mean, yeah, he looks so different. And I didn't watch the episode, but the fight where he like fights that orc, I guess at the end of season 1 or something, was so retarded. I did watch that video. Like they have good, like the show does pretty good on like big set pieces like this. Like this looks cool. You know, like it's very like Middle Earthy, like in the style and structure and everything. But it's when it closes up on like people, like these orcs look fine. I think this is probably the new actor for Adar or whatever his name was, because I think the other actor wasn't doing it anymore. But it's like, oh, is that? Hang on, is this the wizard that people are debating whether it's Gandalf or a blue wizard? I think so. I hope it's a blue wizard. Not that it really matters, but I hope it's not Gandalf. Okay, I actually did want to see this because I saw this the elven armor like early on. I'm not a big fan of the helmet in that shot. I wonder if I can get a better shot. Let's see. I'm gonna have to kind of go pause this here. Yeah, it's hard to tell with the camera. So far, I think it's better than like the gold armor we saw. So it's like stuff like this. Like I think maybe these are supposed to be elves, and maybe they're the elves of like Aragion, maybe? Like this is the only guy where him too, I guess, because of the shot, where I'm like, okay, these are elves. But I couldn't really tell if these are supposed to be like updated like Numenorians or something. But looking at it, I guess you could tell they're elves, but it's one of those things where like it should be instant, and for me it's just not, where I have to be like, wait, are those elves? Like, it's just weird. Okay. Okay. I don't know what this is. Because of the ice, I want to say maybe this is like somewhere up like in Angmar. No, I don't think that could be it in this time period. I don't know. Because I'm like, I don't think this is Mordor. And to me, ice has always been like reminiscent with like the Witch King and Angmar and stuff. But I don't, I'm not entirely sure about, or maybe like Gundabad or like something like that. I don't know. Okay. And I already know too, because I saw it when I loaded up the video of the ratio of this show, where it's like, if you can see that, 65,000 upvotes, 282,000 downvotes. And that's also where my vote's going to go. One, again, a little bit biased from just what I experienced with the last season. But all of this teaser doesn't really give me anything to suggest that the problems that I had with the first one are not going to be here. Like, personally, if I was Amazon, I would have recast everybody. I would have reshot this entire show. The entire show. Personally. I would have, like, to me, this show still looks like people are cosplaying. Where the thing that made Lord of the Rings great is you believed those characters. You believed that world was real. Because it made an attempt to make it look like it was real. Like the elves looked like elves. You believed they were elves and that they were all one culture. You believed, you know, the Fellowship. You believed all these characters. In this, you have the set pieces, like even this opening shot of Mordor, that look great. But then you get the close-up on the characters, and it starts to look like a fan film. It just doesn't look good. It's like they cast people that don't really look like elves, you know? And I'm sorry, Hugo Weaving as Elrond, such a badass. This guy, no. This guy looks like somebody who just reads poetry and is not a warrior in any way. Like, I don't see this guy fighting in the Last Alliance. I don't see it. I don't see him fighting ever, honestly. Like, these guys look better, you know, in the back. You know, it's like you have just weird shots like that stand alone. Like Halbrand, and I'm assuming his Anatar form, does not look good. It does not look good. And I thought Halbrand was decent when he looked like how he did in season 1, just as a human. You know, if that was like a Sauron form, just looking like more human, okay, you know, or even if this was going to be the Witch King, I know there's rumors that, like, fine. But when you, again, it goes by, hey, you don't really look elvish. You look fine to play a man in Middle-earth, but you don't look elvish. So then when you just slap a wig on him and give him pointy ears, that's like their mindset of, oh, we'll just give him that. Oh, they'll look elvish. It doesn't. Like, I always think about Billy Boyd's interview where he was going to, when he was flying to film Lord of the Rings, and he's supposed to fly with Orlando Bloom, and he never met him before, but he's like, oh, this guy looks like an elf, and runs up to him like, Orlando, you know, and they meet. It's like, that's the idea, is finding people who look elvish, who look like they could play an elf, you know, or have that, you know, even somebody who's not familiar is like, yeah, you kind of have those soft facial features. He doesn't have that. It does not look good. But there's even some exceptions to that. Like even the Fellowship of the Ring, Hugo Weaving is not somebody I'd expect to look like an elf, but they did an amazing job with his makeup, his outfit, everything. That it really worked. You know, shots like this are great, but I don't know. I wanted to get a better shot at the Elven armor because I thought there was a shot with Elrond wearing the armor that didn't look too bad. The helmet is wonky. I'm not a big fan of the helmet. I don't see where it would be. I assume it would be somewhere after this, but I could be wrong. Let me actually pay attention. No, I guess it doesn't. I thought I saw somewhere more of a close-up of like the chest piece. That actually didn't look too terrible. But still, it's not my favorite. So this isn't like a full breakdown or anything, but this is kind of my thoughts, just going back, looking at the trailer again, kind of reacting to some of the stuff. I'm not hopeful for this season. I don't know if I'll even watch this season, if I'm honest. I'm probably going to wait for some of the channels I trust to do the reviews for me and tell me how it is. Because I literally quit the first season when Galadriel was beating up all the Númenóreans, and like basically her advice of telling them how to defeat orcs is to use the pointy end of the sword, basically. You know, and all her infinite wisdom and how dumb the Númenóreans are, they couldn't figure that out. And then she just goes and beats them up. It's really awesome. It's really good. So anyways, that's my reaction. I'm not hopeful about this. I'm more excited for the Warner Brothers stuff, the War of the Rohirrim, and I'm even excited for the Hunt for Gollum, but we'll have to, I might talk about that in a future video, but we'll have to see what the trailer, when they do a trailer on that, what that's going to look like. But yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it. And Amazon, I'm sorry, but you're probably going to lose even more money and not going to get what you're hoping for out of the show. But we'll see. I know some people do enjoy Rings of Power, and good for you. I'm glad you have a show that you like. I don't like it. I think it's pretty bad, but who knows? Maybe season 2 at least will be a little bit better. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you excited for the show? Do you think it's going to fail? Was there parts of the first season that you really did enjoy, that you hated? Let me know what you guys think. Be interested to see. And until next time, see ya.